I'd like to chat about loneliness on the Christian path. And this is a topic that kind of comes up often when I meet with people. And it's really surprising. And I don't understand the alchemy or the reason for this. But there seems to be a certain loneliness that coincides with growing in spiritual maturity and diving further into the mystery of the Christian faith. And I can't explain it, and I don't know why, because it feels like this strange cruelty. But there's a beauty to it as well. And I think it kind of speaks to the cultural moment in America right now. Because if you want to be understood, and if you want to be loved and accepted in any community, the way you do it is by catering to the lowest common denominator that gets the most people on board with whatever you're saying. And that can be in a community, it can be in a political party, but it certainly can be in the faith. If you want to be understood, just stay shallow. Don't rock the boat, don't challenge anything, just sign the bottom line. But to keep growing, and as I understand the Christian faith, to keep diving into it and exploring the mysteries and giving up certainty and living before the questions and wrestling with what the greats of old church history from all three of the branches have actually said about a life of virtue and goodness and beauty and truth and love, to actually be about those things will make you lonely. Because not everybody cares about going into the depths. But deep calls out to deep. And so you can't not go there. And so I've met with some people that I meet with in spiritual direction, and they often talk about a loneliness or losing friend groups, or they sit with people and they just immediately know we're using the same Christian vocabulary, but we're using it in different ways. And you might feel as though you're closer to the core of what the spiritual tradition of Christianity has always been about, and yet you feel more and more ostracized. I don't know why that is, but I just want to say you're not alone. I'm not alone. There's many people out there for whom they refuse to allow their political party, their denominational affiliation, they refuse to allow all of these other things define their Christianity for them. And I think it's beautiful, in a sense, that there are some people who are realizing if you can't critique it, it's already an idol. And there are many people who are waking up to the fact that if you can't critique your president, then your president is an idol. If you can't critique your denomination, it's already an idol. If you can't critique your political party, your community, if you can't critique your own thoughts, your own spiritual practices, then all those things are already idols. So I'm not exactly sure what I wanted to say about this, but I wanted to at least name it. There's a particular loneliness that happens on the Christian path as you grow and keep growing. But there's something that also happens, and it's a greater and greater solidarity with everyone and everything. Even though you feel misunderstood, ostracized, left out, there's still a greater and greater affinity and love and like magnetism towards everyone and everything, even though you feel lonely. And I can't help but think that must have been the experience of the Christ on the cross. who experienced the height of loneliness and at the same time the height of compassion, mercy, connection with everyone and everything. So if this is you, and you feel a certain sense of loneliness as you dive further into the Christian faith and are surrounded by people who seem content with a shallow faith, just keep going. Just keep going. The only solution to all of this is not to give it all up, but it's to keep going in. Keep falling into this. I think it was Meister Eckhart talks about God as an abyss. Just keep falling into that glorious, fantastic, loving abyss in which there's only perpetual, infinite free fall into greater and greater love. Be well. Grace and peace.